counterintelligence program. And the counterintelligence program, or COINTELPRO, King Alfred and counterintelligence? The counterintelligence program is a descendant, what I would call a descendant of the King Alfred plan. It's kind of like KKK to police. King Alfred plan.
So COINTELPRO is a synopsis of the King Alfred plan.
Sure. Okay. It's like a remanifestation of the King Alfred plan. When I say KKK to police, I mean those police that caused police brutality on our people during those times. I mean the minority group of Klansmen that were known to be recruited into the police force during a particular time in our history. I don't mean that all policemen are Klansmen. Just want to clarify that. But so from the King Alfred plan to counterintelligence program. The counterintelligence program kind of went a little broader, and it said black nationalist hate groups. Its target was black nationalist hate groups, but its goal was still to stop the uprising of a black messiah. This is the wording of the exact document produced by the FBI, to stop a black messiah. So the counterintelligence program was in full-fledged, okay, during the uprising of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. There are agents who have written books about their entire careers. One guy spent 15 years in law enforcement. His entire 15 years was to watch one man. This man was paid $25,000 a year to watch one man.
25,000?
25, that was a lot in that time. To watch one person.
Who?
He didn't disclose who the particular person. Now you're talking about something else. But so this is the extent to which this organization existed. Now there are those that started chapters full of FBI agents. The founding member of particular chapters of the Black Panther Party for self-defense would be FBI agents. It would be a group like us, all FBI, who would start a particular chapter. And they would run this chapter the way that they want the Black Panthers to look, okay? There was also messages being sent to exiled Panthers, because there were Panthers who did things that were against the law and the advancement of the people, who broke the law and felt they broke the law with justifiable cause for the advancement of the people, who felt like they fell under the Constitution, the last amendment in the Constitution, or the last part of the Declaration of Independence, rather, the last paragraph that says, we have an inalienable right to form a militia if our government becomes corrupt. They were living off of that particular constitutional right. So they broke the law in some instances to free their people. So these were exiled Panthers, okay? The most hardline of them, those who were really willing to do what they had to do. One hijacked the plane and went to Cuba. And to give you an idea of the nature of these people, these exiled Panthers, okay? The most hardline, the ones that we represent, this particular brother took a plane to a country that was not a friend of America that would take him in, okay? Yeah, to Cuba, okay? He could have took the plane, he could have killed all the passengers, you understand what I'm saying? And been fine. The plane was sent back with its pilot and passengers, nobody touched. Because this man was for the people, and that was a message to the people. Listen, that plane and all your citizens could have been gone. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to be a terrorist. I'm just getting out of here. And that's how he did it. You know, he needed a ride. So that's how he did it. Huey went on a boat and swam 10 miles the rest of the way, climbed over the rocks. That's how Huey got there. Him and his wife climbed over the rocks. He said at one point he was hanging off of the rock by his pinky. He said the waves was hitting him and his pinky was up. That's how he got to Cuba, man. He said when he got over the joint, the Cuban officials had their guns drawn, and when they saw it was him, he was like, "I'm Huey." They was like, "You're Huey, the black revolutionary from America." They took him straight to the president. As soon as he got on land.
So how they know he was Huey? I don't remember that part. Like how
he just told them, "I'm Huey. I'm Huey Newton," and they knew about Huey and everything, and so they took him to Castro, and
Castro.
They sat down. They offer him a government position, making $400 a month, $400 a month, which is what the president made. The top salary in the country is $400 a month. Nobody make over that. The average is $250 something, and the lowest is like $175. That's their range. You know what I mean? So they was offering him $400 a month, and he was going to be a dignitary. You know, because he did a lot in the States. He went to work in a car factory. This man was for the people, man. This man was for the people. But anyway, so You got a time when, again, Panthers is exiled in all these other countries, and now you got the FBI sending them letters claiming stuff about the Panthers here. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff going on. Then Huey's in jail from 69 to 71 when the party is really blooming, when the bank robberies and the bombs and all that stuff is going on. Huey's in jail most of the time. So we can't really look at the actions of the whole group. Because some of the Panthers that, I might even say, yeah, this man was a hardline Panther, okay? And he was accused of such and such, such and such, such and such crimes. He might have been an FBI agent. There's Panthers who will tell you that they don't know who the FBI agents were within the Panther Party. There's people who the man who was guarding Fred Hampton was an FBI informant for 2 years. He was responsible for standing outside of Fred Hampton's bedroom. Okay? He gave the FBI the blueprint, the plan to Fred Hampton's house, to his whole apartment. Okay? And this man had what's up?
Who's Fred Hampton?
Fred Hampton is he was the youngest. He was a Panther. Yeah, he was a Panther leader. He was the youngest field marshal of the national. He was a national field marshal for the Black Panther Party for self-defense. He was the head of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. He had, I think, 5. The most free breakfast programs was 5 in the nation. He was on the list to be. He was on the same list with Malcolm, with Martin, with Stokely. Huey wasn't even on the list, the initial COINTELPRO list, but Fred Hampton was. He was up there with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and in the eyes of the FBI, the people didn't know that. He was murdered in his sleep. He was murdered in his apartment in his sleep. Now, the thing about it is, the woman that cooked his meals was FBI informant. She put sedative in his meals. The man that was supposed to stand in front of his door and watch his bedroom was an FBI informant. He put sedative in his meal. Okay, him and his man Mark Clark, God bless the dead, he got murdered the same day. Mark Clark was sitting with a shotgun in an armchair in front of his bedroom, but he had got the sedative. See, if the girl had given him the sedative, he probably would have caught him. And Fred Hampton had multiple guns around his bed where he slept. He was face down with his hand, they say, a foot away from I forget, either a 38 or a shotgun. He had his hand like a foot away from a weapon, and he was with his head down. But he had a sedative. So that's how they got him. They went in there and they murdered him in his sleep. Okay? So, the point that I'm making is the FBI was all up in every facet of Panther life. And Huey had no way of regulating anything that was taking place. Okay? Mind you, when Huey started the party in 1966, when he started the party, he only planned on living for a year. He only planned on living for 1 year. He wanted to give the executive mandate on the steps of the Capitol building in Sacramento, and that was the party for him. That was it. And he lived all the way until 1989. But he only planned on living for 1 year. So while he was in jail and this was all going on, he never planned for this. He was a regular dude. He never planned for all of this to go on. So he kind of shut down for a moment as everything was happening. All this stuff was being blamed on him. Until shortly, a little bit into his sentence, the Honorable Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was murdered. Okay, the day after Dr. Martin Luther King was murdered, there was riots in the street. Everybody know about the riots. Eldridge, Bobby, and David Hilliard were a group of Panthers that David Hilliard, who was the chief of staff of the party at the time, he said he didn't know who none of these guys were. Could have been FBI. They were in a house, and Eldridge, they called him the Rage. Eldridge was really, really angry. Remember, Eldridge was the same guy that joined the party when he heard how many times Huey called the police officer pig. Okay, so this is his character. They called him the Rage. So, he was upset. So he got a group of brothers together, and they planned on going out and doing something. Eldridge said, man, we got to do something. David Hilliard called Huey in jail and told Huey, look, Eldridge is bugging. They're not following my orders. They're going crazy. Okay? Huey was still clammed up. A little while later, he gets the call. Bobby Hutton was murdered. Okay? Bobby Hutton was 15 years old. He was the first member of the party. Huey and Bobby came up with a 10-point platform and Bobby Hutton